I grew up in the projects. I was raised by two wonderful black women that helped my mother raise me. So I know what I have witnessed, what I have experienced, and I know for a fact of what I speak. If you are a white woman and you are dating a black man, you are in love with a black man, you are married to a black man, you need to know.
So this video is a bit old, but it appeared on my FYP today as per TikTok's recommendations. And I thought I should bring it on here because the things she said in the video was valid then when she said it, and it's still very much valid today, 2025. So I thought we could have a quick conversation on it. And I also have a few points to share as well. So without further ado, let's let the clip roll.
If you are a white woman and you are dating, in love with, married to a black man, I want you to listen up. There are certain things that you need to know. And I don't think this is spoke about enough. But the most dangerous thing in this world are the tears of a white woman. And if you truly love the black man that you are with, you need to know that you need to have his back and protect him at all costs, including protecting him from yourself. And what do I mean by that? My son was dating a white woman. My son is biracial. They got into an argument in public, and she started to scream and cry. And my son immediately left the scene. She was outraged. She couldn't believe my son left. My son left because my son knew that if he stayed there and this woman was crying and screaming at him, a black man, there was not going to be any questions asked. He was going to be thrown to the ground. He was going to go to jail. It was not going to be any questions asked because this white woman was crying and screaming about him.
For those of you on TikTok, I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was a time where we started seeing content from black guys, young black men, making some were skits and some were story times where they were sharing how they immediately left a party after maybe a white girl came to the party and she started drinking or something. So they just know that that's time to go home. I'm going to see if I can find some of this clip to show you guys what I'm talking about.
I like how y'all thinking, young kings. I like that because it's important to say that at some point you will match a description. From that point on, everything you say or do can and will be used against you in the court of law. The amount of black men that get convicted of SA and then end up getting exonerated on the back end is astounding. Black male lives have been ruined by accusation and circumstantial evidence alone. This is why me and the if it ain't snowing, I ain't going, that crowd, we can't relate. I'm not risking my life and or my freedom for the sake of a glorified. I told y'all I took a sociology course on family violence a while back pursuing my degree, and the defined aggressor was always male. However, the defined victim was always either feminine, a child, or it was a shared identity. It was never clearly a male identity or possibly a male identity. This was in the textbook. And the way that the law is interpreted, not necessarily the way that it's set up, you will never be drunk enough to avoid consequence. So as a black man, once you start seeing them get too loud and a little out of pocket, go ahead, shoot them deuces.
Good thing I was able to find these videos. There are a lot more actually, but for the sake of time, I just put these two in here so you guys can understand exactly the points I'm trying to make here. When this video started appearing on my FYP, I was like, yeah, finally, good to see these young men getting wiser and making informed decisions to protect themselves. It's always going to be better to be safe than sorry. And in this particular situation, this kind of setup, to be safe here means to not be present at the scene. And that's the same thing that this woman's son did, right? Immediately he saw that she was losing her ish and being hysterical publicly like that. He left. Good for him. And this is why it's important to have these conversations with your children. Educate them on these things, that this is what the world is like. Yes, it's sad, it's annoying, but it is what it is. But it is up to you to educate them and prepare them for the world so that they would not find themselves in a situation where they are ignorant of what's going on and what they should be doing for their own best interest, and then they find themselves getting swallowed by the world. And I'm hammering on this right now for my fellow Africans who are watching this, whether you are abroad at the moment or maybe you may find yourself abroad, who knows. You need to educate yourself on these things. So if you do have kids, you can prepare them for the world that they are going to be living in over there, right? So this tangent I'm on right now is for my African brothers and sisters, because I don't think there's anything I'm saying right now that our African American brothers and sisters don't know already or are not doing already. And I'm even saying this more specifically for those Africans, we know them now, the ones who like to live in this bubble and pretend like these systemic issues are not there, they don't exist, and these things are, all in our heads and whatnot. Like, yes, if you want to be a coon or whatnot, if you want to pretend like the world isn't what it is, don't let your ignorance, your intentional ignorance, or your desire to not want to be in touch with reality, don't let that affect your kids. Like, yes, that's how you want to navigate that way, but at least make sure that you are trying to protect your kids. Like, I don't know, that's all I can say at this point, because some of you be out here just navigating in questionable ways. Yes, you are adults, you can do whatever you want to do, but don't do it at the expense of your kids, is what I'm saying.
Now, I'm sure this female may have been hurt, her feelings was hurt, she was a little emotional. However, when you are dating a black man and you're a white woman, you need to understand that sometimes your feelings and your emotions have to take a back seat to not cause harm to the person you are dating, that you love, that you are married to. And I'm not telling you that if you are truly in danger, not to get help. But if you're just emotional, you're just pissed off, and you want to scream and hoop and holler, in public is not the time. Because that can turn out very deadly for the black man that you claim to love so much, whether you realize it or not. If you were just dating a white man and you were yelling, nobody would really pay any attention to that. But when people see a white woman and a black man and you're screaming, all hell will break loose. Because when white women cry, everybody responds. Even if the shit is stupid, even if it's frivolous, even if it's a lie.
But I do want to add very quickly before we get back to the video that when it comes to this white women tears thing, even though, yes, there are a lot of examples where black men have had to suffer at the back end of this, it also affects black women as well, right? Literally anybody is not safe when it comes to these tears. It can affect anybody. And it's not just in this intimate relationship setup that it can happen. It can also happen in friendships. It can also happen in workspace environment, because the number of stories I've heard of black people who have lost their jobs for no other reason except a white woman's feelings were hurt and she cried in the office. It's crazy to me. It's insane. So while, yes, this conversation is about intimate relationship, I just want to quickly chip in that it goes beyond relationship. It cuts across literally every aspect, like for real. They need to know that across the board, how they choose to react and address certain situations can literally ruin people's lives. And yes, I know some of them do these things intentionally to ruin these people's lives because they already know the power that their tears hold and they weaponize it intentionally to do just that, ruin lives, because they are obviously wicked at heart. You have to be a terrible human being to do something like that intentionally. So meaning these people know what they are doing, right? So this conversation is not necessarily about them, but speaking to the ones who are not aware of this situation, right, and maybe are acting this way even ignorantly, not knowing what they are doing. This can be a teachable moment, I guess, for them.
The most deadliest thing in this world are white women tears. I have said this time and time again, and I learned this very, very early in life. I grew up in the projects. I was raised by 2 wonderful black women that helped my mother raise me. So I know what I have witnessed, what I have experienced, and I know for a fact of what I speak. I learned very early in life that I could be a voice for my friends and my family because people would listen to me far more than they would listen to them. And if you listen to anything I have ever said to you on this app, if you are a white woman and you are dating a black man, you are in love with a black man, you are married to a black man, you need to know that you need to have his back and protect him at all costs, even if it is protecting him from you. Handle that shit at home if you are not in danger.
Good for her for speaking up on this. I mean, it's not like she said something that black people did not know already or black people have not been saying, but you know how it goes now. Then people only tend to want to listen to it if it's coming from one of them. And she even pointed this out, the world we live in, right? So the more of them we have speaking on these things, the better. On that note, we've come to the end of the video. Let me know down below in the comment section what your thoughts are. Thank you for watching. I'll be catching you in the next one.